Welcome to Chuck's Guitar Geekery. Today I'm running yet another experiment. Pretty much I'm just trying to do videos on the gear I have without having to buy more gear, so here we are. So, the good old Boss Katana Mark II. It's one of the best-selling amps in recent years, I believe, and it's a good sounding amp, but to me, the speaker was always the weak point. And really with any guitar rig, especially any guitar amp, you know, below 500 bucks usually, the speaker is what's holding those amps back. I'm a firm believer if you have a good speaker and a guitar that can intonate and stay in tune, you can pretty much do anything. And the biggest change you can make to your tone is replacing a speaker. So let's just get into it. Right now I have the stock speaker in here. I had to take the whole chassis out to be able to get the speaker out. So the stock speaker's still in there. It's mic'd with a Sennheiser E609. It will be in the same place for both speakers. And the speaker today is an Eminence Tonker light. Now this is a pretty bright sounding speaker, so first I will compare the same presets, same everything to see how they compare, but then I'm going to go get the editor software if I don't like what I'm hearing out of the Tonker light, and I will mess with the Master EQ to try to see if I can get the best sound out of that and see if I like it better than the stock and if it'll stay. So anyways, thumbs up, subscribe. I'll have affiliate links to a Katana here if you want one, or an Eminence Tonker light, or there's just so many speakers on the market. So anyways, the first preset, I'm going to start with distortion, I believe, which I can't see it on the face here, but because I edited it on the computer a while ago, but I believe it's a crunch with a tube screamer in front of it. So a little bit of reverb. Now let's try a clean tone. And this is just a weird parts caster with a single humbucker in it. Alright, now I'm going to swap out the speakers and see if I can remember what I played and played something somewhat similar. So, I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. I got the speaker swapped out. As evidence, here's the stock one. I'll put it over here. Let's see what the Tonker light sounds like. And you know what, just for continuity's sake, I'm going to switch back and forth between Tonker and the stock speaker real quick, hear them real quick back and forth, so do that now. Okay, and now for the clean. Which I will say that's so much louder that it's clipping the input now, so this is a very efficient speaker, so it definitely makes the amp louder. Let me turn the input down a little bit, because I don't even know if having the... Hold up a second. Okay, I don't even know if like all the compression that's used for editing in YouTube, if that'll even come through, how much louder that was. So this is the same thing, but a little quiet. I don't know, those are actually pretty somewhat close. This one might be have a little more mid-honk to it. Or I guess tonk. That's why it's called a tonker light. But let me try, before I get the computer out, just adjusting the EQ here, see if it makes it a little more full sounding. And back to the stock setting it was at. Back to the EQ adjustment. And just for fun, I'm going to get in a really high gain sound using the panel here. I know there's a whole bunch of other things you can do. See, and that was on brown sound gain about 2/3 of the way up. So, and by the way, I'm on 25 watt mode with all this, with the master volume about 1/4 of the way up. So editing, Chuck here. Here I am a few days later. I'm just talking into my iPhone because, frankly, I don't feel like setting everything else up. But a couple things, you know, why there's a lack of continuity in this video now is a few days later, I finally did go around trying to put this chassis back in the amp so I could put it back on my amp pile here and use it, hopefully. But The speaker, the basket on the speaker is too big, so I could not get the chassis all the way back in the amp, so I was able to get these 4 back screws somewhat in, so it's secure. If I was going to go gigging with this a lot and moving it a lot, I probably would not feel comfortable with this because there's like another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws that hold it in. So with only the 4 in the back, whatever. I'm fine with that for my purposes, for how I'm going to be using this, but if you're going to be moving this amp a lot, I wouldn't do that. So definitely check the dimensions and the specs on your speaker before you buy any speakers for this. I just happen to have the speaker, so I'm going to roll with it. I'm fine with it. And I tested blasting this up full volume, and there were no rattles or anything, so I'm just going to leave it as is. But going back and listening to the 2 speakers back-to-back, so the stock versus this Tonker Light, the Tonker Light definitely has a lot more mids, has less low end, and it kind of tames some of that harshness on the high end. So on the master EQ that I had set up for the stock speaker, I had rolled off a lot of the bottom end because at higher volumes it was kind of making the speaker flub out a little bit. But this Tonker Light, I'm pretty sure it handles at least 100 watts. It might be 120, 125. It handles a lot of power. So I will probably go back at some point. I don't have time to do it right now, but I'll get the computer hooked up and redo the master EQ to add more oomph to this one, because I bought this speaker honestly to go with, I had the Vox MV50 a few years ago, so I wanted something Voxy-ish. So that's how I wound up with a speaker that then wound up not being used. So, but there are so many speaker options out there. So check the specs to see how deep the speaker is, how big the basket is, and just try it out. I mean, if you want to put it in like the Katana 100, I'm pretty sure that comes in a bigger box. So you could probably have more options there. So in conclusion, still try. You know, experimenting is probably the best thing you can do, the easiest thing you can do, the most fun thing you can do. And it's hard to just buy a bunch of speakers and test them. Anyways, subscribe, thumbs up, you know what to do. Yeah. See ya.